Hey, DJ!
Kick that theme music. Burns, I used it properly this week. Fuck you.
Now,
It was great. We were
Jabroni
live.
Studios, in association with Big Herm Productions, is proud to present to you, recording from an undisclosed location in Oakdale, Connecticut. It's Chris Burns. It's Chris Lynch. This is Dysfunction Junction.
No Matt Marsh.
No Matt Marsh. No script. No real topic. But you know what? We're going to have some fun with you anyway.
No shit.
I have really nothing. I'm going to add some shit as we go along. But these two are going to carry the show. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children, if you're watching this, I'm sorry. Get better parents. Welcome.
You shouldn't be. We blatantly say we're not for children. I'm
We
just
are
saying.
not
Just in
mass
case the FCC
consumption.
or anybody is watching, we have clearly marked this not a fucking kid show.
So get your kids out of the room. Welcome to Dysfunction Junction.
Fuck yeah.
Fuck yeah.
If you don't know who we are by now,
That's your
get a
fault.
life, get a life,
that's your
man.
That's
But
your problem.
That's
if you're
your
a first,
problem.
if you're a first timer here, I'm Chris Burns. The guy below me is Chris Lynch. The bald guy is Big Herm Michael P.S. Herman. We are the three-man tag team champions of the world. We're like the fabulous Freebirds. Any two of us can do this at any particular point in time and still be the champs. And we have Matt Marsh on the side, so it's a fun little gig. No script, no rules. Who wants to start? What about daylight savings time, Herm?
Well, apparently that I don't know if anybody's seen anything, but it passed
passed
in
the
one
House.
of it passed the House. Right now, it's got to go to the Senate.
Pass the house.
All right. They tried this before, and everybody's like, "It's going to be so awesome." First of all, our parents that are pretty much almost all dead now, and respectfully by age are in that group, soon to be, are the group that would remember it. All right, because our grandparents are gone. All right? So we were too fucking young for it to really affect us when they did it. You see, they passed this thing in 73. And in the fall of 73, instead of falling back, they left the clock ahead an hour. And it was great in September and the fall, and it was awesome. However, they forgot that in the dead of winter, with the longer nights and shorter days, sunrise sometimes wasn't happening in the dead of winter in a lot of places till 9 a.m.
Speaking of AM,
it cost more energy to light up your world to get the kids up, and then you sent them into the dark. They were walking the streets of Chicago, major cities, in the winter, in the dark. Children were killed on rural roads because cars and people were driving to work at 6 a.m. and the kids were walking, and it was dark. They are not remembering how this went down, and it immediately went back to the normal shit in 75. But for 16 months, they tried it.
I want to hear, but first of all, it's morning in Australia. Good morning, Kahuna. How are you today, my friend? He says, morning,
Good
gentlemen,
morning, Kahuna.
And he referenced me as the mayor. We're going to talk about that a little bit. I got some things I need to
Mayor
get off my chest.
McCheese.
You can call me Mayor McCheese, Mayor McBeer. Just don't call me a Democrat or Republican. We'll get into that. I'm hot right now. I woke up in a shitty mood, so you guys are going to help me out.
So it's your turn to have a shitty mood on a Tuesday.
Yeah, but somebody helped me
my
get
turn
out of
last week.
Yep.
It's your turn this week. Herm never gets a turn. He's always in a shitty mood. I'm kidding. I'm teasing.
That's a really good point. Well, actually, tell me more. Here, I have a question for Kahuna, because he's down there, down under. They have a similar style, if you will, of governance as the United States, with some different shit going on. Because, first of all, get the Queen off your fucking money. You're not a British colony anymore. Get the Queen off your fucking money. Get the whole royal family off your fucking money. Start there.
I
But
agree.
do they have daylight savings time in Australia? I'd love to know. But Herm, please continue with the daylight savings time.
I'm going to check the Google.
That's pretty much the rant. But like, you idiots, like, are you? Has nobody done the research on this bill? This is awesome. And yeah, you know what? In the late part of September and November, when it's still a little, it's all right. But when it gets short deep in December and the shift starts to tilt and you're in the dead zone, we all discovered already that it's not really that cool.
The only thing I have to say about that is I'm a fan of the daylight savings time. I really am. But daylight savings time is a hoax because the earth is flat.
Fuck you. Fuck you. Fuck you. I'm going to say it 3 times just so you didn't hear it the first 2 times. Fuck
Now,
you.
see, I believe it's a hoax.
The earth is flat. That's fine. But go ahead.
I believe
No.
daylight savings time is a hoax
Why
because
is that?
only a white man could say we're going to cut an inch off the top of the blanket, sew it to the bottom of the blanket, and tell you you're now having a longer blanket because that's
Yeah.
what daylight savings is.
Exactly. You know what? Megan used that analogy the other day. But not blanket, but it's like
I'm going to
You're
cut
gonna
this
cut-
end off the scarf.
I'm gonna cut a foot of
sew it
wood.
back to the other end, and now I'm going to sell you a 6-foot scarf, even though when it started as a 4.
Mm-hmm.
you buy an 8-foot piece of 2x4, you cut a foot off the end, it becomes 7 feet, you glue it to the back end, it's still an 8-foot piece. You're either going to take it at the beginning of the day or at the end of the day. To answer your question, yes, here he is. Yes, he does have daylight saving times, but only in the eastern states and during summer, which is not now. It's winter there in Australia, which would freak me the fuck out. Having December 25th be hot and sunny.
That's a hoax because the earth is flat.
Shut up. So I just Googled it. There's 70 other countries that observe daylight savings time.
Okay.
Now, I'm just going to throw this idea out here. If 70 other countries in the fucking world practice the same thing we're trying to abolish, do you think there's a reason for it? Yes, there's a fucking reason for it. People, you don't want to send kids to school in the fucking dark in the dead of winter. Okay? Because I did my research. If we were to abolish daylight savings tomorrow, the average sunrise in winter would be 8:12 a.m.
Mm-hmm.
Average. That's the start of the winter. And it's only going to get worse from there until Herm very studiously pointed out, won't be light out until almost 9 fucking a.m. in the heat of winter.
Mm-hmm. And when do kids
I
get
don't
on the
know
bus? 8 a.m., 7:30 a.m., 7 a.m.
Now, I don't know about you, but I have a very hard time.
Well, that's us. That's our experience
getting-
going to the bus. Let's talk about inner city kids where the schools are and that have to walk down the street in the dock. You know what I mean? Let's be honest. It's rough enough in the daytime navigating alleys and shit when you're kids, but now you're gonna try me to do it in the dark and everybody knows it's dark. That can't be very safe for the children.
Well, not only that, there's a reason why our sleep cycle is up with the sun, down with the sun. That's how our bodies are built. And our bodies have adapted over thousands of years to rise with the sun and set with the sun. That's why people who work grave shift sometimes have a difficult time adjusting their sleep clock.
Mm-hmm.
I have a hard enough time getting up at 6 a.m. when the sun's out, let alone getting up at 7 a.m. in wintertime when it's pitch fucking black out. Because in your mind, because we follow daylight savings, in your mind, you know if it's still dark in the winter, all right, I got 15 more minutes. I can go back. I can hit snooze one more time. But that will fuck you up in a heartbeat. I don't understand what the fascination is with getting rid of it. Why? Just because we can? It's not doing any harm to anybody. The only reason we kept it for as long as we did was for people who had agricultural backgrounds and livelihoods.
Well, you know what I think is messed up though The only option we have is keeping it. We don't have the option of removing it and just going to standard fucking time. That's if you look at the way it's
no matter what you do, you're
when
fucked.
When it was introduced, you have to look at it. And the way it works now is we can only elect to keep it, or we can switch back and forth. We can't switch back to Eastern Standard Time all the time.
No, because it's still you're fucked no matter what you do. If we keep it,
and it's not because we can't but because the Earth won't allow it. It has something to do with the way that the law is written.
The law is a hoax because the Earth is flat.
We can't select that default option anymore. We can only select the back and forth, or select to keep the I
gotta have my censor button ready.
Hey, read Kahuna's last comment about the shift workers. It's an interesting point.
Correct with the shift workers. Try working underground. You could go down when it's dark and come up with a study. Body clock is stuffed. Absolutely.
It's like working at Mohegan Sun.
Absolutely. Oh, yeah.
Well,
you go in.
That I figured that out years ago. There's a pattern to that, and there's a pattern to life. And for me, it's allowed me to completely change shifts and schedules at will.
Oh, absolutely.
That's how I am.
It's workplace sleep. That's that workplace sleep in that order. You can't work, sleep, play. You can't. It's workplace sleep in that order, and is up or down, whatever length of time you're doing it.
Kahuna, you're absolutely incorrect. If the Earth is flat, Australia doesn't exist. I'm told, even though I know you, I've talked to you, you lived there, you sent me pictures, that Australia is a hoax. So if the Earth was flat, you don't exist in your country. You live somewhere else. You're not even alive.
He lives in a basement in Norwich.
He lives in a hovel in Bosnia, and he gets his internet from his neighbor. I mean, come on, let's be honest here. Kahuna's stealing his internet. Just kidding, Kahuna.
I
think the whole thing is wacky. It's the best word I can use.
It's just one more thing to get people riled up about, and it's nothing. It's absolutely nothing.
Who introduced the bill?
It doesn't. I don't remember who introduced it. I don't remember when either. I mean, I get the gist of it. I understand why. It's an inconvenience. Mm-hmm. But that inconvenience is quickly swept away now by today's modern conveniences. Your clock, your TV, your stove, anything connected to the internet will change time by itself. Your phone changes time by itself. Your Alexa changes time by itself. So what? Hey, you stop.
Who?
So what fucking inconvenience is it to me that the time falls back in the fall and springs ahead in the spring? It's no inconvenience to me.
None. But the crybabies are going to say, and I hear it every single fucking time. I live down the street from Chris. Yes, he does. I see Kahuna twice a week picking up his mail. I love those shorts, by the way. You look good in those shorts, even though they're lime green. I can live with that. I can live with that. I hear the crybabies all the time. Oh, they're springing the clocks ahead. I'm losing an hour of sleep. You don't even notice it. Because like you said,
your body now subconsciously, people have become accustomed to feel fucked up the next morning after daylight savings either begins or ends. But that's subconsciously because you work yourself up. You work yourself up so hard and so much over your lifetime to make it affect your life that you react that way. That's just subconscious. It doesn't fuck you up that bad.
Nope.
Jet lag is a thing. That is a thing. Travel lag is a thing because you're changing days. You're like, if I left today to go to Australia, or if I magically could teleport to Australia, it's tomorrow there. What a goofy concept. But that's because the world is set up into time zones. What if the world wasn't set up into time zones?
It would be flat.
I'm going to smack the shit out of you. I will take off my headphones, get in my car, and drive over to your house, smack you live on the air, drive back, and I'll still have time to finish the show.
I would bring the laptop upstairs and wait for you at the door so everybody could see it, which could only be possible on a flat Earth.
Oh, my God.
I'm kidding. You know I'm kidding. You know how I feel about those
Did
flat
somebody
Earth
from
idiots.
the Flat Earth Society get you spun up?
Absolutely not. I'm just having fun with this.
Okay.
Because I have a friend that thinks, you know, and he said it the other day when this was going through the news, like daylight savings is a hoax. I says, can you explain? And not that I'm a fan or not a fan, and I understand the concept that you guys have all laid out. And can you explain how daylight saving time is a hoax? It's just a hoax. It's a government psyop. It's the usual drivel that comes out of these flat earthers' mouths. And he is a flat earther, but it had nothing to do with it. It was just everything's a hoax. Everything I don't like is a hoax. Kind of like everyone who likes liberals is a Bernie bro. Everyone who likes, you know, Republicans is MAGA. It's an easy fallback for some of these people not to be able to think independently, and it pisses me off. So I hope he's watching and he comes in the comment section. Are you taking a dig at me? Yes, Ian, I'm taking a dig at you.
Come on the show.
I know you're moving
bitch.
your. We tried that.
Come on the show, fucker. That's all I'm saying. Sit down in
Going
the
to-
chair. Sit
Going
in
to
the
Herm's point about working grave shift.
Mhm.
It was hard, but I loved it because I found my pattern. And Herm was absolutely true. It was work, play.
Yep.
You're gonna fucking piss me off tonight, camera. Stop it.
At least you haven't hit the boom.
Thank you. I found the pattern, and it was Herm's pattern: work, play, sleep. I would come home, get out at 7 a.m., come home, be home by 7:30, stay up. I would treat it just like a normal fucking work day if I was going to work during the day. And that we do our errands, go run to Walmart, do some grocery shopping, do whatever we had to do, and get home just in time to take your sleep. And it was only a couple hours. You only have a couple hours to squeeze in there. But if you treat it like a normal day, you give yourself 3 to 4 hours to get shit done. We got a lot more done.
Yes. And I have to say this about the people who didn't work grave shift, who don't have any frame of reference of how our lives were set up. I remember someone saying once a week, me and a couple of buddies would get together and we called them club meetings, which just meant we drank beer, you know, ordered food and played video games until one of us got tired. You knew you had to be up at 10 o'clock for grave shift. And one of my coworkers who comes in for the day shift, I said, oh man, it's 8 o'clock. I get to go home. I'll get home. I'll hit the packy. They open at 8 and then I'll be at 9 o'clock for our club meeting. And she goes, you're going to drink at 9 o'clock in the morning. I'm like, for you, it's first thing in the
9
morning.
For
me, I've been up 10 hours.
Afternoon, and right. So same. I used to sit fucking 8:30 in the morning with a 6-pack on the granite steps in Westerly. Or we come back and the Knickerbocker opened at 7 a.m. We'd stop at the Knickerbocker. There was another place downtown, the AC downtown, that had the right there at it was the little bar right there where the dirty little porn shack was years ago.
What
And
town?
It's Norwich. You went down by the marina, down by Thayer's. There was that little dirty, raunchy joint, and then there was a little bar right there.
Yes.
That bar was great.
I remember that place.
Because that bar was
That's why we all went to Trading Cove.
Because, but you couldn't do that at 7 a.m. That was the problem.
Yeah, the Trading Cove. No, the Trading Cove opened at 7 a.m. for us in Mohegan employees. Amber, who was
I never knew that.
No, surveillance, security, and facilities. By 7:05, if we were going to go drinking, they'd be open. Amber was a pit boss in pit 1 and pit 21. She was a high stakes pit boss.
Okay.
She was married to Stamatios, who was another pit boss. Stamatios Lahaniadis.
God bless you.
Owned the pizza joint.
They got a cream for that.
Yeah,
He would
it
open
itches at first.
She would get out at 5 a.m., run home, then run to the Trading Cove, open the cove by 7:05. We had beer in hand by 7:10.
Nice.
They used to do
Kahuna's
that
got
for
it.
us.
Kahuna's got it down to a science. Work, get home 10 before 10, and sleep 10 beers before 10 p.m. I like it.
There you go. There you go.
That's about right.
Big Kuna, what's happening with daylight saving is that there's a proposal to get rid of it. And it's passed the House. Now it just has to go before the Senate. This is not the first time this has been brought up. And it's been shot down several times.
I got to say that I hear both of you with what you're saying about it's really not that big a deal. It doesn't affect you.
Won't affect me if it gets reduced either.
Well, and I'm talking about the switch, that hour.
Yeah.
A lot of that is how much as somebody who wakes up at 3 a.m.
dark 30. Yeah.
or 2 a.m. to go to work for 4.
Mm-hmm.
That change at 2 a.m. is a big fucking deal for me.
Okay.
All right. You know what I mean? Like when
I'm not saying it's not a big deal for everybody.
No. But
there are people who are unique.
Right. But and that's kind of where I'm going. I'm a unique case. When I have to be to work for 5 a.m. in the winter, regardless, I don't give a fuck. It's all still fucking dark when I show the fuck up. All right. There is no I showed up in the wintertime and the light was out at 4:30 in the morning, nigga. No. All winter long, no.
Leave it to you. I mean,
even in the summer, no. The best time
you can't paint.
Twilight.
You can't paint with a big broad brush the average American human.
No,
correct.
You know what I mean?
That lives here. Because
part of. I'm glad you said that. I have a point
me,
after you're done.
I have worked jobs in the past where to be on time, you had to get up at 2, 3 in the morning.
Right, and when that change happens, it's a big deal. That 1 hour is you just lost one night, the prime hour of sleep, that last golden sumbitch, or you're waking up early, or you're set on something and it fucks you up. When you're that tight to the change, it's a much bigger deal. 4 or 5 hours on either side, not so much.
I had the unique perspective of being raised by a guy who worked shifts. My dad worked shift work. Majoritively grave and swing, so midnight to 8 or 4 to midnight. But as he got senior with his tenure, more and more day shifts would show up. So by the time he was ready to retire, he was pretty much primarily day shift. But, however, there was this fun little shift called spare shift. In 1 week, you worked grave shift, day shift, and swing shift, all in the same week. Yeah. You'd work 2 days of grave. You would work 2 days of grave, 1 day shift, and 2 days of swing.
I did that for months as the chef tournant. I was the day cover. Because I was the most adept at changing my schedule. So I would work 2 graves, 2 mids, and a day and a day.
Yeah. My dad hated it. But he loved it for the shift differential. Because it was a shift differential.
Yes.
There you go.
Yeah,
I have a question.
You got a differential as a chef for doing it.
I have a question for you guys, and
I might have an answer.
I know the exact people that are going to pitch a bitch are the same people that want to get rid of daylight savings time, and they cry on the internet and they do this thing. Do you think that these crybabies will be the first to cry, especially in the Northeast here, where with daylight saving time, it gets dark at 4:30, 5 o'clock at night, and now without daylight savings time, it's going to get dark at 4:15, late 3s, early 4s, and they're going to cry the blues. And you get to look at them with that smug look that I love. We all have that smug look and go, you wanted this. You wanted this. Great job. Well, thanks for playing.
You can't complain about something, and then once you get it,
it's not going to be. It's not going to be that part. It's not the sunset problem with
the sun. It's the sunrise
when you stay in daylight savings. It actually gives you
the sunrise.
You know what I mean? It's the that's the thing.
My point is the people that are crying hard now are going to cry hard then. Give us what we want. Point, Chris. Here you go. But this isn't what I wanted.
Then use your fucking words Use your words.
Exactly.
Right, but it's the Sun Protection Act bill, and it's this bipartisan bullshit bill, and
Mhm.
they're working together for it.
Well, look at that.
Yeah.
They're working together on
How about
something.
How about we work together on, keeping the fucking government open when we need to,
Fixing the economy.
Let's not keep
fixing
it
the
open.
economy.
Let's not keep it open, and let's
Not
see
not
what
not
happens.
bombing the shit out of countries. Things like that.
Let's get shit or get off the pot about this Voter ID Act.
I think it's the greatest thing ever. And I'll say this, and I had a conversation with someone the other day. In fact, Barack Obama brought up something similar back in his first campaign. If nobody remembers this, I'm not surprised. Most people today have the attention span of a gnat. That's a GNAT, not my friend Nat, NAT. Barack Obama had floated something about voter ID, and the Republicans were dead set against it. Here we are, fast forward, 18 years? And the Republicans are all for voter ID, and the Democrats are against it. This is why I hate the two-party system, and I'm not right, I'm not left, I'm correct. They're two wings of the same bird. They're just not fucking smart enough to admit it. I said what I said.
I do agree with that.
I don't understand the
And
need for voter ID. Why do I need a voter ID?
Technically, you don't.
I have
You
a.
don't.
I mean, I'm just saying. I have a real ID. That nigga is federally fucking backed. I can.
Okay.
Listen,
Damn near a.
Hold on.
here-
I
I can use it
Go
as
ahead.
a
Here's the
passport on a goddamn ship.
Lynch, go ahead first, and I'll go next.
Here is the Voter ID Act in a fucking nutshell.
Mm-hmm.
If you currently are an American citizen and have proven citizenship, you don't need to do a fucking thing.
Nope.
If you have a driver's license in the United States and you were born here, you are registered to vote. That's already done. And you are also elected into the selected service. That's done.
Mm-hmm.
When you turn 18 years old, those things happen. Now, if you're living here on an H-1 visa and it expires, you never had the right to vote here anyway. You are not a citizen of the United States of America. If you so choose to become one, is that point at which you would need to get an ID to prove your citizenship, which is the real ID, as you pointed out, Herm, which is federally fucking required. So they're arguing about something
because at
they
this point,
fucking
you
put in
can't
action.
fly without it.
Let me finish. They fucking arguing about something they put in place, and they're fucking arguing about it. You motherfuckers started this. You started it. The federal government. I didn't ask for the real ID. Nobody did. You said you have to do this by a certain date. What's the fucking issue now?
One word.
There is
5
no fucking
letters.
issue.
There is an issue. One
No,
word.
there isn't.
5 letters. Trump. That's the issue.
No, it's not. Get his name out of your mouth for a minute.
I'm
Get
not.
his
It's
name out
not
of your
mine.
mouth.
I'm telling you what these people are
No,
saying out there.
Let me finish my rant and we'll move along.
Mm-hmm.
The federal government instituted this federal ID requirement X amount of years ago. I don't remember when.
7, I
I don't
believe.
remember.
7 or 8.
It was Obama. It was under
Yeah.
Obama, correct?
Then it would
Okay.
be 10 years. Yep, you're right. Toward the end of his administration, you're absolutely correct.
It was during the Obama administration. That's as much as I remember. And it was Democrat pushed, if I remember correctly. And it was bipartisan by the time it came to vote. It was a bipartisan bill
Mhm.
to enact this fucking official federal ID that you can't travel without it. Well, what's my passport for?
Other countries.
No, it's still no answer. There's still no answer. Even if you have your passport within the country, it's allegedly illegal for you to travel intrastate without your federal ID. Look it up.
I will.
Look it up.
I will. That's an
I do
interesting
believe,
point.
unless I'm
That's an
misconstrued it, I could be wrong.
That's a very good point.
Now,
Good point. Go ahead, please.
here we are. 10 years later. We're only trying to enforce what's already on the fucking books. Shut the fuck up. Shred the bill to pieces. The bill isn't necessary. You already have a federally mandated federal ID that everyone in the country who is a legal citizen must have. All this is just one more fucking jerk off section between Republicans and Democrats to have something to argue about how it's because you're putting the blacks and the women and this, that, and the third down. There wasn't a problem in 2017 when these people had to go get these required documents to get the federal ID. Because there is a time when you will have to have this federal recognized ID. I don't have it yet. Oh no, I do. I got it last year. I didn't have it for a long time.
Really?
Because I refused to get it.
Okay.
I was like, what the fuck? It's just one more thing. One more piece of the government getting in my fucking business. Why? So this whole SAVE Act bullshit is all performative. There is no need to push forth an act when you already have a mandated identification regulation in the United States of America that if you're a citizen, you have to have that ID.
There are certain states, though, that do not require you to show your ID when you go to vote, much like each one of us has voted here in Connecticut.
Listen.
Hold on.
Listen. And
go ahead.
My point being, Chris, the whole underlying point is that we would have already found people who aren't supposed to be here by now.
And a state like California, which doesn't require you to show your ID when you go to the polls, is a problem. When you consider
about voting, I'm separating the two pieces of the components, Chris.
I'm not. I'm going for the voting. I understand what you're saying. I completely.
If you have a federal ID, you're supposed to be here. Is my fucking point, Chris? If you have a federal ID, you're already supposed to be here.
But they're also using all of that to discredit mail-in voting. Because you're not showing an ID, and yet they really haven't found shit with mail-in voting. With all the fanfare,
not on the federal level. Not on the federal level. You're absolutely correct. You are absolutely correct.
On the federal level, and they have mildly state to state, but it's always interstate and handled. There is no giant federal fucking voting.
No, you're absolutely correct.
Going on, but they're totally trying to discredit the mail-in vote.
So I understand, Chris, where you're coming from.
I haven't made my point yet. I haven't made my point yet.
I already know where you're going with it.
Where am I going?
It's the states that don't require an ID to vote.
Yes and no.
Is what
my thing is. Pick
it up from here.
Okay. I hear both sides of the aisle, depending on what team, and you already know how I feel about the teams. I want safe and secure elections. This has to be a safe and secure election. If that's what you want, do it. Make sure that this is banged into the books, because right now there are several states that don't have this, that don't require you to show your identification to show. Anybody could, if Connecticut didn't require me to show my ID, anybody could walk into my polling place and say, I'm Chris Burns from 6 Oxford Drive. Yes, now you all have my address. You know where to send your hate mail. And I'm ready for it. The mailman's going to hate me, but I'm ready for it. And they say, may I have your ID? And I show them, and they match the ID to the little thing. They cross my name off. They hand me my ballot, and I go to work. I go do my thing. But if you don't ask me to prove my identification, Herm could walk in. We look nothing alike. And he can say, I'm Chris Burns from 6 Oxford Drive. Here's your ballot. Go do your thing. Now, I show up 2 hours later. I have my ID, and they go, oopsie, we dropped the ball. But on both sides, they keep crying fair and secure elections. Then do something together to secure these elections, because if you don't, we're all fucked. And we, the people who sit in the center and have to listen to both sides of the bullshit, we're stuck with a shovel going, which side are we shoveling today? Because I can't deal with this anymore.
So the premise that I've laid out would completely abolish people who don't belong here voting.
I don't disagree.
Because in order to vote, right? You are registered with your city, county, state, blah 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 blah, and in the country for federal. Well, it wouldn't because yeah, there's a hole. There's a hole in my theory.
Identity theft.
No, not identity theft. Besides that,
but that's just the first. That's the first thing I thought of was if somebody passes away.
Well, but this next part, I'm going to say, would kind of help with that.
Okay.
Every state should have the elections held the same exact way. Not digital here, handwritten here, poll tab here. All elections at a federal level should be done on the same machines, with the same softwares, handled the same way.
I disagree.
Why?
Because if every machine everywhere runs the same software and runs the same anything and is a network, then one machine anywhere is all it takes to truly infect the whole system. By keeping the parts small and subject to smallness, it is so much harder to fuck with an election from that way because this county does it that way and that county does it that way and this state and this area does it that way and this way. And it is the mutt system.
There's a way around that.
It is a mutt system that makes the animal stronger than your one purebred straight line animal.
But there is a way around that. What people need to think about is when are those voting machines put on a network? They should never be on a network until they're ready to upload their data.
And they have to be secure. Because
and they have to be secure. And they have to be secured.
I'm going to agree. And somebody write this date and time down.
But I do understand where you're coming from, Herb. I absolutely do. Because if you're using a network of different components, it's harder to crack.
But
like
also,
if Chris is running Mac and I'm running PC and you're running Linux and we're all in the same network, it gets a little cloudy there.
My problem also is that this is the system that all of these people and their representatives have chosen to do the way that they vote where they are. Okay. I am vehemently opposed to the government coming in any way, shape, or form. We're here to help. We're going to solve the voting problem. Big problem.
I don't disagree with that. I want you guys to write this date and time down, timestamp the time on here. I'm going to say something that people might lose their minds, drop their jaws. Some of you might fall over dead where you sit, wherever you watch this and whatever time you watch this. It is July 21st at 6:39 p.m. here on the East Coast. Vice President Kamala Harris put out a tweet several years ago, in 2019, I believe it was, saying that the safest way, and I agree with this, is to have voter ID and paper ballots because you can't hack a paper ballot. Now, you can ballot stuff. You sure can. There are certain ways you could rig that election, but you can't hack a paper ballot.
It requires all those extras to go in and pretend to be somebody to actually have maybe somewhere in a small town and you could get enough extras bust in, but to be honest, I don't think you could stuff a ballot. And honestly, gentlemen, I'm going to say this right now. Other than everything below the presidential election, that's all well and good. But we also know that our independent personal vote doesn't mean shit with an electoral college. So why do we have to clean it up? Because our personal vote doesn't fucking matter to begin with.
Because 2 of the 7 largest states have had issues with their voting machines and with their voter laws. And if you have 3 out of the 7 biggest states that have lax voter laws, where anyone can just come in off the street and say, "Hi, I'm Joe Bob from England," or from, England Town, New Jersey, or wherever the fuck. And you can just go in and go, "Okay, Joe, you're good to go. Here's your ballot. Go cast your shit." I'd prefer a more secure ballot, whether I live in Connecticut, which has 2 electoral votes, or I live in California, which has 43. I would like there to be some sort of integrity. And thank you, Kahuna. I see you in the comment section. This is a good conversation this morning. Well, morning where you are, night where we are, and it doesn't matter what time it is where you are, because Australia's a hoax and the earth is flat. I'm waiting for Lynch.
I'm seriously gonna get in my car.
I'm trying to lighten the mood here. You can slap me the next time you see. It's who?
Cooling off. It's cooling off.
What is it? 101?
It's only 97 degrees at
Only
fucking 5 o'clock in the afternoon.
Chateau de Herm.
Right.
Christ.
All I'm saying, both sides say they want the same thing, and then when it's put in front of them, depending on which little letter is on top of the bill, people lose their shit. People by and large, not smart people like us, not intelligent free thinkers like us. They're playing team baseball here. It's got to stop.
I'm playing team. I really don't give a fuck. The system works, and the margin of error is actually little to none, even with all the foul
fractional.
play.
It's fractional. You're absolutely right.
To be honest, I'm less concerned with the way the president has been pushing the whole China in our elections problem, while totally not even acknowledging the Russia issue.
I'll give you that. I have a point to make on that.
So I'm on team. The system seems to be working so far pretty fucking good. The margin of error isn't really that bad, and there's a lot of people who fucking hate it, but it's still fucking working.
I'm not arguing that point.
It's an 83 Buick.
I have read.
Exactly.
I have
with
read
the 3.8 liter.
What the fuck?
I've read certain things that have come across and have watched. I never thought at 53 years old I would watch the channel I hated as a kid, but I watch a bit of C-SPAN. And I love to watch when they bring the documentation forward and they show you this and they show you the intelligence and yada, yada, yada. I have yet to see the Russia collusion hoax that everybody talked about in 2016. However, there was indications and intelligence that showed China attempted to, but were unsuccessful in trying to hack the 2020 election. So either way you look at it, both sides, if the Russia collusion is real and if the China hacking is real, both sides were a beneficiary of this at one time or another, but they won't acknowledge it to each other. They won't. If Russia hacked the 2016 election, the Democrats go nuts because the Mango Mussolini gained power. If China truly did hack the 2020 election and Joe Biden came into power, the Republicans are going to lose their shit. When are people going to realize? And I'm not even going to save this for the return of Pure Patriot. Dylan's almost got his shit together. I'm proud of him. Good job, kid. Hope you're watching. Both sides need to look at each other and go, what can we do collectively to fix things? Because if you're just going to stand there and go, you got your peanut butter and my chocolate, or you got your chocolate and my peanut butter, you're going to fucking kill us all.
That's why I'm saying the whole SAVE Act is all performative. We have the steps in place right now. We just have to have the states that don't require voter ID to at least include, you got to show your ID to prove it's you when you go to vote. You need it to rent a car. You need it to fucking buy a house.
Buy alcohol, buy a gun.
Buy alcohol.
Well, depending on who you buy your gun from. Depending on who you buy your gun from.
When you rent a car so that they know you're a licensed driver, the actual using it as an ID is a secondary function. But just in that particular case, but still the same, like you need one to get a hotel room.
That's the whole reason for the federal license.
So it can just be an ID.
Well, I tried renting a hotel room years and years and years ago when my license was suspended, my driver's license, but I had a state ID And I was told, you cannot rent this room. So to Herm's point, he is 1,000% correct. My issue is I want people to recognize, by and large, this isn't a Republican or a Democrat thing. This is an America thing. And to both of you have made good points, and you're swaying me because I was a firm believer in the SAVE Act. I thought that this was like I was ready to say something nice about the Mango Mussolini and how he wants this pushed through. But you both have made really good points to the point where I'm now saying what you're saying. SAVE Act is smoke and mirrors.
It absolutely is. And
this is what happens when you have intelligent conversation.
well, and it's while sitting around the other day thinking to myself, I was like, wow, we haven't heard a peep about the Epstein files
You're never going
in
to.
months.
Never going to.
No.
Okay.
And I'll explain.
All we've been hearing about is racism. Racism.
The only people I've heard talk about the Epstein files right now are the anti-Trumpers and centrists. The anti-Trumpers only want the Epstein files to bury DJT. Centrists like us want the Epstein files so anybody who did foul things to a child, 18 or younger, go to jail. We're not the same. We are not the same. I am the father of a beautiful 18-year-old girl who, by the way, if you're watching, Emma, congratulations on your new job.
Yeah, congratulations.
She, oh my God, I'm so proud of her. I can't stop. Anyway, I want anyone. I don't care if your name is Bill Cosby, Bill Clinton, or Pope, whatever the fuck. If you are guilty of something and you are adjudicated in a court of law, I want you in jail or under the jail. I, as a centrist, I have a few Republican friends who say the same thing, even though they're on Team Donald. Okay. The left wants one person and one person only. And when you bring up a Bill Clinton, a Bill Gates, Harvey Weinstein, anybody who's visited that island, they say that's irrelevant. That's irrelevant. They're not the president. We want Trump. Then you don't want justice. You're never going to see the Epstein files come out in full. We could have had them after the Ghislaine Maxwell verdict when they were unsealed. Biden did nothing with them. Why? Because a lot of his friends would go down. Trump released 3 million pages out of what? 13 million pages? Why? Because because he's protecting his side too. I don't think he's protecting himself because he blew the whistle on him. And if he is protecting himself, he's releasing the shit that doesn't have incriminating information. I don't think it should be in his hands. I think the DOJ, no matter who's running, if you are really a Department of Justice, just let them flow, do the investigation, and nail these motherfuckers to the wall. But that's the dichotomy between the two sides. One side wants justice and wants you to leave Trump out of it. No, don't leave Trump out of it. Just release the shit. The other side just wants Trump. My question, not to you guys, because I already know your answer. My question to the broad public, if you're watching this, do you really want justice? Or do you just want the Mango Mussolini's head on a stick? And if you're brave enough to answer me, not you guys, of course, but the viewers, the listeners, email me at cburns19@gmail.com and explain why I'm wrong. That's your challenge. That's your homework. And only intelligent responses will be replied to. The rest of you will go in the trash bin. And you can fuck yourself with a cactus.
Oh, my point is, though, is we don't hear about the Epstein files in the news anymore.
Of course not. It's all about ICE and racism.
Yeah, the whole Palestine thing is kind of cooling down.
Because people are waking up to what happens over there, actually, and Queers for Palestine can't be a thing when queers are killed in Palestine. I'm sorry,
it's just
I woke up.
It's just a nature. It's just the nature of how society is now. People, for the majority, have the 40 to 100-inch black box that hangs on their wall.
Herm's is 120. Herm needs the best toys.
It's the constant glow of mainstream media bullshit. Where you're only hearing snippets of information out of context presented so a third grader can understand it.
Look at what happened last week. Last week,
I mean,
the
I
mango.
don't think
come on.
that's the problem.
Say what you got to say before I make my point, please. I want to hear this.
I don't think the problem is mainstream media. The problem is the younger people, and I'm not talking, you know, I am 53, so younger is 35.
Draw a line in the sand and then go backward. What age do you say the younger people?
You just did.
There's 30.
I would say 32.
30-year-old adults that are getting and pulling and younger, you know what I mean? But, you know, that 25 to 30-year-old adult range that are pulling their fucking information off of TikTok videos,
Reddit posts,
and where they're getting their info. Like, guys, I understand you question everything and you've got the attention span of a fucking flea, but
right.
There's a reason that mainstream news outlets exist. It's because they are, by and large, more consistent and deliver better news and deliver more information because there's people who are paid lots of money to get the information. They're not just spouting opinions.
Certain networks do.
Edited clip.
Certain networks do.
Unfortunately, that's not always the case.
And I'm not saying that they don't.
You kind of led into my next point.
Can I make mine first?
But my next point was phone.
Oh yeah, internet, phone, whatever you want to call it. Yeah. I hear way too many people watch or listen to or read Fox News or MS No One's Watching. CNN has gotten better in the last 2 years. I have to give them a lot of credit. But look at what happened. Look at what happened last week when 3 of the 6 major networks decided we're not going to air the Mango Mussolini speech because we don't have to. This wasn't there's certain speeches that are mandated that they have to carry to keep their federal credentials to go to the White House and do their thing. This wasn't one of them. Thank you.
This was a press conference.
This was a pop-up
speech. This was a special bulletin. This was a special bulletin.
Now, the right lost their ever-loving fucking minds. Completely lost it. Oh, how dare you? They should pull their FCC license. First of all, you cannot pull, the president or anybody else cannot pull that FCC license because they decided against running this speech on their network because it wasn't one of the 3 times a year that you are mandated, or if it's an emergency, which it wasn't, and the president calls for a press conference, if he says this is an emergency, this is of national security, national threat, national this, they are required to air it. This wasn't one of them. Now, if you rewind the clock, just 4 years ago, when Joe Biden did his little speech in Philadelphia where it looked like a Nazi rally where the building was red and he was shaking his fist and he was saying an existential threat to democracy, 3 networks didn't carry that speech. And you know who lost their minds? The left. 2 wings, same bird. You guys need to fucking figure this out.
No, I agree. You know how I feel about that.
I pointed this out.
You and I are in total agreement about that.
Absolutely. And I pointed this out to my conservative friend, Dylan Lane, who we had to take a break from Pure Patriot while he has to take care of some things. Again, Dylan, hope you're doing well. I know you're doing well. I just want the folks to hope you're doing well, too. It's not required that if the president picks up the phone and says, I'm having a speech, you need to air it. No. If he said, look, I'll go to Barack Obama. One of the greatest speeches ever given by Barack Obama. 11:30 midnight. It was a Sunday going into a Monday. No, it was a Monday going into a Tuesday. And I had just got home from bringing Emma back, and I get a knock on my door, and it's my roommate. He goes, Obama's about to speak to the nation. He says it's huge and this and that, and it's an emergency, and I'll get dressed again. I come out and I sit down, and Obama walks out. He's got the George Jefferson pimp walk. If you watch that footage, his arm is swinging. His dick is 12 inches long at this point. Ladies and gentlemen, my fellow Americans, tonight, I can report to the citizens of America and to the world that the United States has carried out an operation that has killed Osama bin Laden, the leader of Al-Qaeda. Then my dick became 12 inches long. I'm like, good, they got that motherfucker. That is something you go on TV and you announce. Not, hey, I'm going to keep running with the 2020 election was rigged 6 years after the fact. It's the same thing with the J6ers and the Democrats. Dude, when do we live in the now? Seriously, when do we live in the now? The answer is nobody can except intelligent folks.
Well, the problem with the left is once something goes out of fashion, they got to find the new cool thing and the new cool group of people that are disenfranchised. For a while, it was women. Then it was gays. Now it's trans and black. It's like there are so many other things going on in other communities that are just as horrible that need to be known than the fake oppression that these groups are going through. I mean, nobody's being oppressed. And I don't want to seem callous when I say this. I don't give a fuck what you do to your dick or whatever other body part. I don't care. I just have a problem with medical professionals giving 13-year-old kids life-altering drugs that are that can cause irreversible damage. That's the part I have a problem with.
I don't disagree.
So you're not being oppressed. If anything, you're being encouraged. So stop with the oppression bullshit. And don't try to dictate my speech about how I refer to things.
I would like to use that as a segue. I sent you a snippet. You said you watched the whole thing. Look, it sucks that in a country like this, I have to preface what I'm saying so people don't come burn my house down. I don't care how you live your life. I really don't. Just don't force it down my throat and don't try to tell me what I'm supposed to do, because if you don't feed me, fuck me, or finance me, you do not get to tell me what to do. The young person that got arrested, and when the cop called it in, misgendered the person and they had a meltdown. You said you wanted to say something about it. You said, I have a lot to say about this. Please go.
Well, there is some missing context. I think the whole incident started because he was misgendered by other students first.
That's not a crime.
And that's what he was that's what he was freaking out about. And where you see the body cam footage start is the initial interaction that cop had with this person who they knew by name. So obviously it had been a problem or an issue with this person in the past. Just how is that behavior? How can you justify in your mind that behavior? Screaming and thrashing it around as a grown person. How is that like justified?
Because they've been taught it's acceptable.
Well, you know, I meant what I said when I sent that reply to you. This is what mental illness looks like to a person who has been coddled and affirmed and never told no. That's what this looks like.
Or fuck you, no, as Herm would say back in the day.
I mean, I actually feel bad for these kids. You know why?
Because they don't know any better.
They don't know any better. They don't know any better. And it sucks because they have such a handicap with facing the real world now. That's fucking challenging to overcome. And when you're that fragile in something small like that makes you freak the fuck out and break down like it's the worst thing on the planet, like somebody died. How are you going to function in fucking life?
That's a great question. I have a shirt upstairs that I wore today. I went out and ran some errands, and you, Lynch, you, Herm, and myself were all brought up this way. You do the work, you get rewarded. Nobody hands it to you. You go out and get it. So I have this shirt. I'll take a picture of it. It's in the laundry bin because it was hotter than shit in the places I went to, and I changed shirts before the show. And it says one simple sentence on the back of it. And I caught a couple of people gave me a little bit of jaw jack, and I was like, okay, cool. I'm going to keep walking. The back of the shirt says, no one owes you shit. Work harder. Kids today, not all of them. I know a lot of kids today, and I'm going to use Herm's cutoff, 30 and younger. I'll use my daughter. I'll use Herm's sons, plural, that know the value of hard work and go out and they're digging, and they keep digging, and they want to dig, and they want to do better. They don't sit down and wait for somebody else to give it to them. They're hustling. That, to me, means that Herm, as a parent, and Chris, and by proxy, Stephanie, did a great job. And Herm and his wives that helped bear these children, because you know Herm didn't do it. You raise these kids correctly. Because I'll tell you this, we lived in an age when my daughter was coming up. We collectively lived in an age where a swat on the ass was considered abuse. I only spanked my daughter 5 times in her entire lifetime. And that was because she supremely fucked up. You know what she didn't do? Threaten me with DCS, threaten to call the cops, do this. She ate it. She earned it. She accepted it. And she fixed her behavior. That's a sign of good parenting.
Well, I think
to your point, Lynch, let me finish and I'll let you run. To your point, Lynch, some of these kids, again, using Herm's cutoff, 30 and below, never had that. Everything they did was wonderful. Everything you say is blatantly true. The sky is green and the river is red. No, tell them the truth. I don't care about the trans thing, and I don't care about, you believe what you believe. I believe certain things that my parents didn't believe, and I believe a lot of things that they did believe. But I was raised correctly. You can have your own thoughts, your own opinions, your own this, but don't make a spectacle of yourself. Live your life. Be kind to others. But being kind doesn't mean lying to someone. And that's what I think your point was way back with this affirmation bullshit. If people actually look up the meaning of affirm before it was co-opted by certain sections of society, to affirm is to tell the truth. You sign a legal document, you get in court. Herm and I know a lot about going to court. Wink, wink, nudge, nudge. And you put your hand up and they say, do you affirm and attest that everything you're about to say is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth to help you God? And you go, yes, I'm about to tell the truth. I'm affirming that what I'm saying is the truth. Learn what words mean, people.
Yep. Words matter.
Because if I'd have gotten called, Herm loves to bring it up, and he brought it up in the group chat, and if people don't know the story, Herm can tell it. Flipping over a pool table, and he did, you know what? I still say this to this day. He did nothing wrong. Nothing. Somebody else did something wrong. Somebody else stirred the pot and made him lick the spoon. And it sucked. But again, every time I talk about this, I get a little verklempt. Herm was doing the right thing for his friend. And I told him not long after that I was forever grateful, because it was a time in my life where a lot of people didn't stick up for me. They were behind my back doing shady shit. So if you get a true friend like Herm, don't lose your Herm. If you have a Herm, or if you have a Lynch, don't lose your Herm. Don't lose your Lynch. That's all I've got to say.
Yeah. If you do lose me, help me get found. Put up posters.
I'll put your face on a Mountain Dew bottle, and you'll be found within 3 weeks.
There's a second half to the word definition of affirm that actually explains why the other half of what
I'm gonna ask you, is there a caveat to say when it was added to the definition, or is it the original Oxford definition.
It means to state something as true or to publicly express support for an idea or belief.
Okay, fair. I'll give you that. So if I
It
don't
involves
believe,
declaring a fact with confidence,
Mhm,
validating a decision, or
mhm.
making a solemn promise.
So the validation of the decision is something that I'm going to struggle with. But thank you for bringing that up. I appreciate that. But I'm not going to affirm something that I myself don't think is true biologically. Anyway.
There used to be a time when people could have a conversation about two opposing viewpoints and it not devolve into violence. And I mean, sometimes it did. That's how wars get started.
Mm-hmm.
Because, the North was kind of pissed about the South still owning people and shit. So those words turned into violence.
Mm-hmm.
The Revolutionary War.
The original
Because
No Kings.
we wanted to speak our own words. So I always say words matter. Goddamn right they do. Words matter.
Mm-hmm. And we had a whole episode on it. I don't know how many years ago, where we asked the question and we went around the table: is it hate speech or is it just simply speech that you hate? Because by me saying, I sent you guys a funny video. I don't know if you watched it. Herm, I don't know if I sent it to you. If I did or if I didn't, I apologize. The trans woman. Somebody comes by and smacks the ass. And the person goes, "You think that's funny? I'm a trans woman. What if it was reversed and the person comes back and smacks him in the dick and
Yeah.
I'm a firm believer in hardwired real truth in biology. I don't care how you live your life. I know I can count on one hand, unfortunately, how many trans people I know that understand the way I think, but it also comes down to respect. And if you respect me, I will respect you. I will call you whatever you like. I will use pronouns that aren't made up. Z, zim, za, zimity, doodah. I'll use he, her, they, them, she, whatever. You show me respect, I'm going to show you respect. I've been around a lot longer than you have. It's not up to me to bow to you. It's up to you to say, hey, this is the way I want to live my life. Can you accept this? And as Lynch knows and as Herm knows, if you approach me with respect, you're going to get it back in spades. And there's not a lot of two ways about this. There really isn't. We all have to play the game together.
Right, and that's really what it's all about. To say that we're scared of them or don't want them to exist is bullshit. That's not what I'm saying.
Mm-hmm. I know. I don't want to use her. Go ahead, please.
When it comes to children, I have a problem with that.
When you're over 18, do whatever the fuck you please.
Exactly.
I want to ask Herm a question because this kind of goes into this point, and he doesn't do it with me, thankfully. But you're not a religious guy, Herm, are you?
No.
You don't really believe in organized religion, do you?
I like the way the Jews have done what they've done.
I was waiting for that because I knew, because you've said that a million times before.
I kind of like the way they run their program. They run a tight program. I like the way that you very rarely do you hear about Jewish clergy. They have wives, they have children, and
they don't deal kids
being inappropriate and other maybe cheating on their wife with but
right.
I think they run a pretty good program. That's all I'm saying as far as their religious leaders are concerned.
The two questions I asked you lead into this.
I agree.
When you make a sideways comment about Catholicism, I don't care. I really don't. You make a sideways comment about Protestants or whatever, I don't care. Rarely do you make a comment about Christians, which I'm very glad of. But when you make
Christians are lovely. I mean,
hold on.
Christians are lovely.
Thank you. When you make a religious joke, I take it in stride. Do I yell at you and scream at you and try to shoot you or threaten to burn? Okay, I'm going to take that part back. I have threatened to burn your house down, but which would be the second time I burn your house down. I'm kidding.
Yeah, no.
I take it. I take it in
don't do
stride. Please go.
And I also I pick on as a non-believer, I kind of sit around and see all the funny shit in all the denominations. So
Yeah.
my jokes are equal. Like Christians and Catholics, very different. Like Christians have a very direct connection with God. Like I talk to Jesus every day. He's part of my life. All right. That's different as a child. You know what I mean? That's
Spent a half hour today doing the same thing.
In a Catholic house, okay? Because in a Catholic house, like there's a list as long as my arm of nuns and reverends and fathers that you need to talk to before you even think about talking to God, honey.
And rules.
Right?
There are rules.
You have to go through a long string. But Christians, they have a direct line with God.
Here's my thing.
And you can hear it when they talk.
Sure. And here's my thing.
They're passionate about it.
Catholics on a certain day go to confession. Now, if you truly believe in God, and I'm not going to doctor this up and how the Catholics do in the one true God, or whether or not you believe Jesus, who was a man, who was, here on this earth. Catholics have to go to confession and confess to another human being. God knows what that human being has done when you're not sitting in the booth next to him. Christians, by and large, sit in their own hovel like I did today. And I took a half hour out of my life. Got some shit going on. I was just like, you know what? I'm not asking for money. I'm not asking for this. I'm asking for the strength to get through this. Please. I don't care how you do it. If you've given me an obstacle and I hurdle it, great. I move on. I'm a stronger person for it. You know what I don't do to Herm or to Lynch or to anyone else? I don't push my personal beliefs onto anybody else. So when Herm does make those jokes, I've made them too. Back when I was a non-believer, Herm, what was one of my favorite jokes? Why doesn't Jesus eat M&Ms?
It's a hole in his hand.
Through the hole.
Yeah, they fall through the holes in his hands. Exactly. I've made those jokes, and even to this day, I've made those jokes, and people understand. It's like it's a lightening up. I don't really dislike Jesus.
People are surprised when they find out that you are Christian.
Yes, they are.
Like, if you talk to them just below the surface level, you'll figure that out. And he hasn't been his whole life.
No. I've dabbled for many, 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 many years, but it wasn't until Lynch, what do you think, like 5-6 years ago that I really embraced this?
Yeah. Yeah, right around the time, just before I went a little bit, like a year before I went sober.
Sounds about right.
But yeah, I'm not religious per se. I mean, I think the Bible is a great book. I think Jesus was a great man that did live and did die. An unfortunate death, a death he did not deserve. And from there, I don't know really what to think.
I mean,
but the stories that they tell in the Bible are good stories.
Yeah, there's certain things I still don't adhere to or believe in.
There's more lessons in there.
There's more truth than lie.
Yeah, and it's a good history book, if anything else.
Right. Like, look, as a Christian, I'll say this out loud. I don't buy the burning bush. I don't buy the talking snake. There's certain things in the Bible I don't buy.
I don't buy the ark.
No, that's another thing. I don't buy the story of Noah's Ark. What I do know is that, and I have this really good Bible that goes with me everywhere. It's actually about 5 feet from me that Chad Hatfield sent to me. It's called Every Man's Bible. And it's not built to, the book is not built to sway your opinion. It's like a question and answer book. It's like, a Haynes guide. Is that what they used to call those things when you have to fix a
Yeah.
car and you buy the Haynes guide? It's
Yeah.
basically a
Yeah.
Haynes guide for men. I'm struggling with this. What should I do? And there's about 40 pages, which has probably every certain thing a man could go through, save for like porn addiction. Because I did look, I wanted to make sure I was on point with this. Hey, I'm struggling. My marriage is failing. I need some advice. You look it up. It tells you the passage. It gives you like 7 passages. And then at the bottom of the page, it says, were you here to look up this? What do you think? What is it's like a workbook. It's twice the size of a regular Bible if you buy one in paperback. And it's been completely helpful for me. I'm not telling you guys should run out and get it, especially if you're not Christian, but I thank Chad every day, whether he knows it or not. And every now and again, I'll just text him and say, thanks for that book. It's been helpful. Now, we all have different ways of going about things. Herm goes through troubles. Does he internalize? Does he externalize? Does he bitch? Does he keep it quiet? Does he do this? Doesn't matter. Herm does things Herm's way. Lynch, when he gets mad or he gets upset, does he externalize? Does he internalize? Doesn't matter. Lynch does things. We all do things our own way. Why are we shitting on? And I say this to the people that want to pound this in your face and say, you have to do it my way and you have to do this and do that, or you're run it through the ist, the phobe, the bigot, the this. Why can't we all just get along? I don't push my thing on you. Why are you pushing your thing on me? Could I call you any one of those ists because you're pushing your gimmick on me? I don't care what you do. It doesn't affect my 4 walls. Doesn't affect my day-to-day. I had a real big problem this weekend. And thanks to some good friends, thanks to some good coworkers, and I will put the Jesus thing way down below, and I hope I don't get struck dead for this. And I say that in jest because I don't think people die because they say something cross about Jesus. It was more my good friends than it was my faith, but things are going in a good direction. And I appreciate that. So I'm going to repeat what I said before, even though you two weren't directly involved. When you get a Herm or what? If you get a Herm or you go ahead.
You said cross about Jesus.
You can clap for that. I'm going to use my Kamala Harris voice. You can clap for that. Yes, you can. That was good.
I'm like, cross about Jesus. Oh, jeez.
If you get a Herm or you get a Lynch or you get a Lindsay or you get a Wet Bar or you get a T-Bone, if you a Sarah, if you get any of these people in your life, man, hold them close. By the way, stop me if you heard this one. Jesus walks into a hotel. He walks up to the innkeeper and he goes to the desk. He slams his fist down. He opens his hand and there's 3 nails on the counter. The innkeeper says, "Can I help you?" And Jesus says, "Yeah. Can you put me up for the night?" Thank you. I'll be here all week. Enjoy the veal. With the 12 or so minutes we have left, Lynch, tell us about the Evil Dead.
Yeah,
They
so
were dead.
Megan
They were evil.
And
Megan
they were
took
dead.
a jaunt. Megan took a jaunt to upstate New York this weekend to meet up with her college roommate.
Mm-hmm.
And they've been friends for 30 plus years.
Is she
I
hot?
was like, no,
Damn. Okay, continue.
she's married with
I
kids.
didn't ask that. Is she hot?
I was like, fuck it, I'm gonna go to the movies. And I'm gonna go see something that I wouldn't see with her anyway.
Okay.
Because I was on the fence. Was it the Odyssey or was it Evil Dead? I was like, I think Megan wants to see the Odyssey if we go to see it. I'd like to see it with her.
Okay.
I'm like, fuck it, I'll go to the Evil Dead. Now, I've been a fan of the Evil Dead franchise since the beginning.
You gave me Bruce Campbell's book to read.
Yep.
Fantastic read.
I discovered them out of order. I saw Army of Darkness in the theater when it first came out, not having seen the first 2 movies. And I thought it was great. So then I went and saw it out the other two movies, and from there. Then it was rebooted in 2013, and then it's gotten 2 sequels since. This one was really intense. Very, very, very close to the original style of Sam Raimi, with the weird camera angles and tracking shots. So you saw a lot of that. There was a lot of Raimi influence in this one, and nods to the original franchise.
Okay.
There was humor, which there wasn't much of in the first 2 of the reboot. It was actually kind of funny. The situation that they bring up is pretty funny in context. But it starts within 2 minutes of the movie. It starts, and it's intense, and it doesn't stop until the very end. At the very end, after the end credits, there's a teaser at the very end, post-credit scene. There's still a gotcha. It's fucking intense. It's probably the most intense of the sequels. Very well shot, very well done. It doesn't scare you. It just keeps you captive. And you're just like, holy shit. You're like, don't believe what you're watching is happening.
Nice.
And I like movies like that.
You are like me. I know you love horror movies, but I think you and I are closer together on this. You love, like I love, more of a psychological thriller than you do, say, Freddy Krueger just sticking a glove through some chick's butthole and killing her that way.
See,
you want the psychological part.
I like the psychological thriller or psychological horror. I love those movies.
Mm-hmm.
But I still love the cheesy 70s and 80s gore fest.
How do you not?
Like Friday, because I appreciate the practical effects. I think what they did was really fucking impressive with the tools they had, and it looked almost real. It was really fucking cool. I mean, the 1982 John Carpenter, The Thing.
Mm-hmm.
When I first saw that, when it came out, holy shit. Holy shit. Scared the shit out of me. Stuff like that. American Werewolf in London. And The Howling with the werewolf transformation scenes. Huge.
Yep.
Huge things that happened to make up. It won Rick Baker an Academy Award. The first Academy Award for special effects in 1983. That's a big deal. But yeah, it was so intense, and it just kept you captivated the entire time. It was never boring. There was no slow parts, and they expanded on the lore a little bit.
Okay.
About the characters that are involved are directly connected to characters from the very first movie.
All right.
So it's pretty interesting. It's pretty interesting.
Okay. When this comes to streaming, I'd love to see it because I've watched the Evil Dead and the Army of Darkness movies. They're fantastic, except Evil Dead 2. That was just cheesy as fuck.
I love it for what it is.
I want to ask you, as the horror movie guru of the panel, have you seen Obsession yet?
No. That was.
I'm going to watch that this week.
Anybody
On
watch
Peacock.
the new The Mummy?
No, I didn't know
Yes.
there was a new Mummy.
Watch
Holy
that. That's
shit.
pretty fucking scary. That one had
I
me
like
going
that
pretty
movie.
good.
I
That
really
one
like
was
that movie.
Pretty intense. What was the other one I watched the other day? Do Not Enter.
That's
What
another good one.
What platforms are these on? Because I know Obsessed is on Peacock.
Yep.
I haven't looked at Peacock in a while, but I've been on like Prime, and my Prime has Stars, Apple TV.
Same. I don't have
and
Apple
a couple
TV
of
because
others. Well, I get it because it's free. When I do it that way, I get it for $3 through T-Mobile.
Okay, that makes sense.
Costs
I
me
won't get.
$3. So I get Apple TV and an option for $3. Like
I'm gonna
my Hulu is free from T-Mobile. My Paramount is free from T-Mobile.
Fair.
My Netflix is free with commercials from T-Mobile. So
Yeah, a lot of that comes through my
bounced
cable
around.
company. Yeah, I still keep cable for internet, but cable TV. As a NASCAR guy, I have to watch these races. I'm not going to rely on watching the greatest hits clips on YouTube to get ready for Tuesday.
Well, that for me, and that's also why we keep YouTube TV, because it's about as close to fucking having cable as you're gonna find. With you pump in your address and you get all your local channels. That's it. It's it. You're done.
Yep. Except
Yeah.
what I did learn,
prefer it.
a friend of mine has YouTube TV, and we got together not last week, but the week before, and it was going to be, I'm going to have the Cubs game on one TV and the Yankees game on another TV, and YouTube TV will not pick up the Yankees game because there's a blackout, and YouTube TV is a national thing, and they have to respect the blackout. If you had, say, Xfinity or Frontier or whomever delivers your cable, we'd have the Yankees game on one TV. I wasn't upset. I like the Cubs. They're not my favorite, but I like the Cubs. So I sat for 2.5, 3 hours and watched the Cubs game, and I was still wildly entertained, still hung out with a friend, still had a good time. But yeah, I get it with the YouTube thing, but I guess when this movie comes on, when it goes to streaming, I'll get it. To Herm's point, you said something about Tubi the other day. It's free, and if you can get movies that you like that you couldn't get anywhere else, I found movies that Amazon wants you to pay $10.99 to rent that Tubi has with commercials, unedited, and you can watch them on Tubi for free. You just have to, every 25 minutes, sit through a block of commercials that run for 3 minutes, and then you're back into the movie.
I don't mind that.
I don't either.
For free.
Tubi has not only allowed me to watch movies from my youth that I loved, and yes, I'll sit through the commercials, but they've introduced me, and I love this feature about all the streaming platforms. You're looking up, say, and I'll just throw this out there because we're talking about horror movies, shocker, the best comedy that is disguised as a horror movie. And it says, oh, you like Shocker? Try this. And there's a list of 10 different movies underneath. And I'm like, oh, this looks good. I overdose on shit like that and then I lose sleep and I go on 4 hours of sleep, Gatorade, caffeine, and anger the next day. Because I'm
I find a lot of shit like that because you watch this, take a look at this. Mm-hmm. I found some really good shows and movies that way.
There was a movie from the late 80s, early 90s that I had never heard of, even though I worked at Blockbuster and I thought I knew it all. The Wraith. Wraith.
Yeah, Charlie Sheen.
Who's in that?
Charlie Sheen.
And that was the Dodge Interceptor car.
Yes.
I was going to say, is that a car? Yeah.
Let me tell you how much I enjoyed that movie.
It was good.
It was fantastic, but I never knew about it until I watched, I think it was Maximum Overdrive. I had to see it again. I was thinking about it. I was like, I haven't seen Maximum Overdrive in 30 years. I'm going to watch this movie. And if you like this, you'll like this. The first one was The Wraith. I'm like, the what? Like, is this a Christmas movie? The Wreath? No, it was not. And I enjoyed it, man. What a great film. What a great freaking movie. So, guys, before we close out, if you are on Netflix or Amazon or Hulu or whatever, you watch a great movie, either that you've never seen before or you have seen, and you go to the box below, if you like this, you might pick one of those movies and watch them, or put them in your queue, or do something, because you're going to have a good time. You're going to expand your knowledge, your breadth, if you will, whatever. You're just going to have a good time.
Yeah. What he said.
Yeah. All right. We're going to nail this down. I'm going to find a piece of paper. Now, do you want to do next week?
I don't know. It's not next week yet.
Gotcha.
I'm just fucking with you. I don't know. Seriously, I'll think about it tonight.
Something fun, maybe a list.
Yeah.
Maybe we all pick one guy and we fuck with him the entire night. I don't know.
Heard.
The roast of Herm.
Heard.
I can't roast her.
I can. I ain't gonna lie.
I ain't afraid.
Dude, I ain't scared of shit. I already proved that to him. However, I do think he'll flip me like a pool table, without question. He
He'll
chokeslammed
spin
me
you
once.
right round.
He
He'll spin you right
chokeslammed me
round,
once.
white man.
We said
He'll
we
spin
did
you
a
right round.
like a record, baby.
Right round.
We set up a mattress one time in the living room of my apartment, and we were watching a wrestling pay-per-view, and we were doing moves on each other. You know, that doesn't hurt. Let's prove it. And we did it, and not all of them hurt. Herm took it to an extreme. He didn't protect me. He chokeslammed me so hard that I thought my asshole came through my mouth.
It was a mattress. It was a mattress.
Bitch, please. You when you chokeslam
This
someone.
thick.
Yeah, well, no, it was a pretty good
futon
mattress.
mattress.
My mother bought me this mattress. It was a good mattress. And he picked me up. You know, you goozle the guy and you lift him up and you're just supposed to let him go. Herm did not let me go.
I might have been a little overzealous.
Might have.
For performative purposes.
Dude folded me like laundry. You're supposed to land flat back. Dude, my heels were behind my ears.
Nice.
But I got up. It hurt temporarily, and then I got another beer, and it felt great. But I'm like, dude, dude. All right. I got to go. If you guys are racing fans, check out the Speedway Review at 8 o'clock. We're going through all things North Wilkesboro. I have a lot of great things to say about the Cup race, and I have a lot of bad things to say about the Cup race. I did not watch the other two. These guys are going to have to carry the show. I don't care, but we're going to have a good time. And we are officially 1 month away from my trip to New Hampshire. It's going to be a good time. And I have been tasked to pick up NASCAR journalist Sarah Talker from the airport and bring her to her hotel. And then on Friday morning, I leave my own home to go with the guys to New Hampshire Motor Speedway. But as a nice human being, she asked if I would pick her up from the airport and bring her to her hotel. I said yes.
Like good you be.
Of course. A friend in need is a pest. I mean, what? Who coined that phrase?
What?
A friend in need is a pest.
I don't remember.
Bobby Heenan.
Oh, nice. God bless his soul.
Yes, indeed.
All right,
gentlemen.
I gotta eat. My sugar's getting low.
What is the worst crime a trans woman can commit?
What?
Mail fraud.
Giggity, 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 goo.
Good night.